What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Journeyman series in Football Manager 2022. Be sure to leave a big like on the video, that will be greatly appreciated, as we are going to kick off the season in this episode. There may still be a little bit of transfer action, there will be, but it's been an interesting first few games here. Anderlecht, they lose against Standard Liège. Mustafi sent off early. For a few games, or for a few teams, looks to be pretty interesting. And we are going to get into our game. There's some, transfer situations where there's two things going on right now. Zurich came in with a bid for Diego Gonçalves. He was one that I was hopefully gonna sell. 31, hopefully he does move on in the end here. He's an experienced winger, but he's getting to that point, like, his contract will run out at the end of the season. We get a 3.4 million, and I've been struggling, hadn't I? This is the man we are getting, Victor Rentero. He wasn't showing up, he came up in this section. Yeah, when in the scouting center. He is exactly there right now, and sometimes your scouts and staff-wise, we'll talk a little bit on that too, because we had some action there. I reckon we'll leave that, so stick around if you want to see the staff-related stuff, but we'll get into our, first game of the season. But, yeah, he just showed up. He just showed up, so it's very important. Specifically, your chief scout. This is the scouting responsibility. You can change that if you want, but generally, that is going to be your chief scout's role. And that's where I found him, and more specifically, because this is why we didn't really come across him. He's naturally a center attacking midfielder, and we were looking for wingers. But you got to realize sometimes you could have a center attacking mid, that could have suitable attributes for an inside forward. And I think I consider his age as well, where he's going to take over some other options we were looking at. So that's what I may do if we are going to look for a replacement. Not just what we were looking for there, but yeah, Gonçalves going out if he does so, accepts the contract. And yeah, to keep majority of the profit we're making off these deals. But yeah, as I said, we'll give you some other updates. But I think it's time to get into the season. And was it just me? Or is it just me? Dylan Mert, did he get a haircut before the start of the season? But yeah, Dylan Mert, regardless, he is going to be a very important player for us. Excited for him. And see, look, he was 5-star potential. He's gone 4-star. I told you. Honestly, Noah Mormon, we were negotiating an offer for him, and we click on him there, and he's 4-star. So there's going to be some, differing opinions from coaches, I guess. Like, yeah, we've had players fluctuate from 4-star potential to 5-star. It's not their potential going up or down. It's just the opinions on the players. So into the tactical meeting now. First game against Genk. This is going to be a real challenge for us for this season. I wonder where, obviously, mid-table is the expectations, which we thought was pretty high, right? But I want to see where we're at over the first few games, you could say. Like, I really want to know. So Pablo Pardo, it's familiar. There's not a whole host of new signings, not yet anyway. We brought in Neves on loan. But the defense was switched up. Obviously, Kostovin, Benedetti, we talked about his experience. Al-Hajj was very impressive. I think you see a lot of those young guys we brought in, whether they be from the youth intake and, upgrade them to the first team, or the ones we signed. There was a few guys like, obviously, Mert, Brolt, and again, Anthony Tarasuk. We've got to learn this guy's name. So I think he can show something. He's capped under 19 level. We'll see if he plays more games. Let's just keep him at club level for now. We did touch on how he was a good capture, not for us, well, for our club, but we didn't do that. Like, such a minimal fee, 9.5. Just, let him go on the cheap. So maybe he'll turn into something good for us. We just got to keep him safe. In terms of, manage his injuries and all that, or manage him so he doesn't get injuries. Popovic, how we had the friendlies. He'll play games. But Kostov and Benedetti, pretty happy with them. And I'm giving you guys, like, on the selection table where maybe you guys might choose differently. I'm not sure about this guy yet. He's a youngster, got potential, but first team. De Silva Lopez, last season, he was playing at halfback, the DM role, but he's versatile and he's reasonable on his left side, and he's just a better overall quality. And that's same what we were looking for, like in our new signing, hopefully coming in. Sometimes you got to look outside the position and look for attributes and look for a player you can train into a position if they've got that ability. And yeah, sometimes just the way it plays out. Though this is the team I think we're going to get into. Jean, I already talked about him. Like, he doesn't look like your deadly top goal scorer. I don't know. Maybe I'm mixing it too much in my head that he's, 3-star, 31 years old. Maybe he could show his experience and, put a lot in. But I just feel we're going to be very versatile with our goals. That's my early opinion and thoughts on how we're going to do. And, of course, this is not the final team for the season. Got a signing coming in we showed you, and some more money, potentially. I don't even see it as money, more a player to replace. But you'll see maybe he could have a final game, Diego, today. Let's get into it. So, point finger. Yeah, Genk, after what happened in our last match, generally pretty motivating, and we'll just roll with that with no extras. Let's get it. Their recent form, not the greatest. Okay, they've got a 5 at the back. Interesting how this will play out. So, obviously, new faces. Centre back, up top, through the middle as well, alone. So, I think we brought in... Obviously, we've got some younger guys that's not in the 11 today, but I'm happy with the moves we've made, and maybe even a couple more. I would love just to have a cracker of a season, just an amazing season. Let's see. Can it be one where just everything clicks? Do we have a team that's going to be that good enough? We got some younger guys that may progress throughout the season. Benedetti, not exactly the player the club, the board wants me to go for, but you need, I've said you need experience, and let's see if we can really, have we got a team to control games? This is not a bad start here, showing what we can do with the possession. And then we get forward, Pablo Pardal, Sean, Al-Haj, not quite. There's almost a bit of expectations. Got to be careful, it's Malik, and this is on the outer. We have the build-up. Oh, look, we can keep this possession. How are we going to deal with counter-attacks? Judging off that, not too well. Pretty disappointing. Now, let's see just in a clean replay here. A bit slower. Just a long ball, man. I wouldn't even see... Benedetti... Wait. I can't even remember, what was his pace like? Was he overly... But I think that's always going to be a goal. Like, that was just a great ball. Who's going to catch up to him? Even Kostov as well. Like, unless you had ridiculous pace, like the speed merchants, I don't think you would have stopped that ball. What could you have done? What could you have done with that ball to defend it? Better positioning, if anything. I'd say the positioning over pace. As it is 1-0 right now. But Genk, away from home against Genk is going to be a really tricky game. They're a decent team. So, let's just... Because we had a chance just before that. We were controlling possession really well, and that's what we just got to take. We got to create good enough chances from these opportunities we create for ourselves. Consolvis, De Silva Lopez. Come on, Amok Rain. You see, this is beautiful play. We're maintaining possession. It's nothing crazy, but we're trying. We are trying to make it work. And we are going close. Is it going to be given? Yes, yep. Diego, we might not want you to go after all that. Maybe he'll want to stay. Who knows? I can't remember if he said he wanted to join. Onto the left where it says, when a team makes a bid. I think he said he wasn't that interested in joining, but could be persuaded with the contract. So that one could go either way. But he is on the older side. There's no reason why we couldn't get someone else to do the same. Anyway, equalize. That from getting that great possession, look, we've got 60%. We just need to convert that possession like we saw from that last highlight. Let's do it again. Don't go too quick. If it's from a new player, fair enough. Still adjusting to the game. That's the excuse I'm going to give them anyway. But on the counter, this is where it goes down. Like, that's what we want. We want to force them to a long shot, and we're only going to concede if it's a banger, if it's a worldie. Set pieces. Early in the season, set pieces can be an issue. Not doing a lot of set piece training in the preseason. You're trying to build up your tactics and all that. So, yeah, it can be a bit vulnerable to set pieces early in the season. But, I mean, there's someone on him. You know what I mean? So, what can you do? They're very, yeah. It's not like he was by himself. So, yeah, that's... For them to go into the lead, judging off that, come on. What are you going to say? Nah, thrash arms, terrible. But I don't think we've been horrendous, really. But motivate them a bit. To be fair, we've only had one shot on target for the game. Hey, let's get one back ourselves. Oh, penalty. Had to be. He fell over. He fell in a heap. This has to be a penalty. They're going to review it. Yeah. I was going to say, do you know, sometimes you can't really tell when it's a penalty? You could tell there. He was tumbling over. Diego Gonçalves, could he put another one home? Oh my God. Don't leave. Cancel the transfer. It's good money though. So we're going to see what happens with him. He's been good today. Scored a goal earlier. Showed he's really smooth from the penalty spot. But I like to think we should have some others that will be. But no. He's played his role. You can't say he hasn't done so today. You've got to leave him out there. Who else? Neves maybe been a little bit on the disappointing side. Ooh, bro. Yeah, when you look at this, that Ramos, more defensive. Jordi, yeah, he can play multiple positions. Hold up. Before we react too quickly and just say, oh, he's defensive. Nah, you'd say he's pretty well-rounded, but I'd say he's more on the defensive side. But Neves is just easing in. I want to bring in Brolt, though. I want to bring him in, young talent, and he's more on the creative side. The hopes for the future. Anatoly on the right side for Pardal, not having the great game. So bring on the Ukrainian. All right, we got one more sub to make, and I think we'll leave that up our sleeve. So we're going to stay steady, I think. I find it really intriguing. We have still got a higher XG. It's really interesting how they rate possession when I think Genks had more and better chances. I don't know. I don't know if you see it the same way. I think they rate possession highly, but you still got to be doing something with the possession. Yeah. We'll wait a little bit for that one sub. So Ramot, Mert. He wouldn't say he's done a whole lot, but I think we make that sub. Yeah. Because, I mean, we think it from the point of view. Oh, if it stays level, we take a point away. Not the worst result. Maybe just a shout. And you say say demand more. You say we got a goal back from a corner because we won the penalty from the corner. So, cancelled out there. And when I said set piece, I don't even mean just for myself. In general, I find myself sometimes scoring early set pieces. I just think the general training, there is not a lot of set piece training. But we try and add that a bit more as the season goes on. Anyway. No, positioning again, and we're lucky. Yeah? That looks so open. Like, wow. Like, I think we'll be pretty content. We'll be content with a draw here. Like, good opponent, which I think, regardless if we've had a better XG, I'm not going to say, oh, we deserve to win this. Like, I felt they've been better. I think we're going to have a bit higher XG generally just because we have higher possession. I'll say, yeah, they basically had double our chances, and they had 2 clear-cut chances to the 1. I think we'll take a draw here today. If we can get draws in these kind of fixtures and then, win games at home, I say no. I want to say we did well. We did well to avoid defeat, and that's what they react well to. But questioning if we are going to be that top level this season, I'm not sure we can. We always want to look towards, having the best success, but I think what the board put towards us was a big enough challenge to finish mid-table. Oh, but something else I can't forget. I think this is the first time it's happened for me, because I'm trying to recall other moments. Any notable messages or just, reviewing? Jean debut, I wouldn't say he didn't do anything out of the ordinary. Yeah, I think he's just got to find his way. He cuts inside from the left wing. So this is where, what did I say about suiting attributes in a different way? Maybe we could train him on that left side. He's right-footed. So, yeah, he'll be that, cutting in type. And then maybe we look for another striker. So it just depends the best available. But what I did want to show you, we did complete that latest license. So we're Continental A. And we did try. They rejected us initially. But if you go over to promises, what was able to happen? They said, no, if you can promise this, 8 days left, has promised to... No, sorry, that's different. That's the top one. Ensure there... Which I didn't even notice that. I just realized when I was checking promises out. But okay, that's cool. Ensure there are no overworked coaches or unmanned areas of training. So we're going to... 25 days left. And then if that goes off as a tick, they'll be like, yes, you can go on another course. Which is really interesting and cool. You could have a promise for that. So what it's looking like now, we had a lot less and one more coach. So I reckon we're going to do a coach and a performance analyst, but it's more on the coaches and then how we set up our training. So now we're just going to go through to, some staff we brought in. There's no real other updates yet on the transfers. That will be probably, in the next episode, giving you an update how we go. But if we head over to staff, and we're going to leave, just the guys coming in here. As you can see, I don't, it's not a progressive thing. I generally go all out on one specific day, bring in some staff. So, one scout that we did bring in, 17 for ability and potential, Colombian. I think he's a pretty good signing. That's a pretty high-level scout. Then we head on back. Sep, who was a performance analyst, 15 analyzing data, tactical knowledge of 13. He's Belgian as well, only 25 years old. So, you think he would be improving. He's definitely only going to go up, pretty young for staff. And then, as you can see here, our first coach that we went for, South Korean, who's got, for me, very impressive attributes. Mental, which is a very important attribute, I feel, helps players improve in their mental game. And he's strong in a few areas. I think technical, say 15 is pretty strong, but then tactical 16, like him. He's motivating, he's 20 as well. So he's got some really neat attributes that can work players' mental game, which, the mental side, which is still under coaching, but mental and motivating, two very high ones there. And I do always wonder those little things, like you got your specific staff and like your coaches, and say if they've got high mental attribute and motivating, how much it could contribute to getting results in games. And if you know yourselves, it's a really interesting experiment. You would probably have to do it with the same team and having bad coaches and good coaches, but there's so many little differing things. But anyway, Alexander we brought in as a coach. Look at these attributes. 17 attacking, working with youngsters is good. He's not directly working with youngsters, but I like that's always a good attribute. And again, motivating, determination, all really solid attributes there. So I think he'll be good. You could say a blessing. And just a recruitment, I say just it's not what we're focusing on as much here from what we talked about. But Lee Mooney, English, he was one of the best available. So that's pretty important. Those two attributes. And he's been in Belgium, previously with Anderlecht, and before then, Manchester City. So I think he's got pretty good reputation there from a previous club, which we're talking about Man City, and then already spending a bit of time in Anderlecht, or in Belgium, with his time at Anderlecht. And then we brought in a scout by the name of Will Still. He's not bad, 17 judging potential, so maybe focus him on scouting some young talents to get a gauge on their potential. It was interesting because I found him while I was looking for coaches for the reason we're talking about, so we can get approved to keep studying. But I'm like, hold up. This guy is good enough for a scout. And he has the one really good... You want to have him tactical training for a coach? Maybe that could be good, but I personally like those previous guys that we were more well-rounded and natural as a coach, but I think he will still be good as a scout. Not to mention, look at his previous roles, assistant manager. I think that manager, is normally when he comes in as a caretaker, even though when it says manager, that's what I mean. That's probably similar to caretaker as well, so 2017. So Not to that level as being a main manager for a club, but definitely as assistant. He was a nice one to get. Generally, when you've got staff, they can, perform in multiple roles is very handy. And then we finished off with the head of sports science and another youth. I call them youth, like regents, 26 years old. Some neat attributes. Again, he's got 17 negotiating, so he could maybe be trained. Not that you train him, but he could develop attributes to play another role, be another staff, be utilised in a different staff role. That will be it for this episode. We'll leave it waiting because it looks like, this is probably still going to take a few days. And as good as he was in the last game, actually, just netting, another 3.4. That will be really handy into the club, but we get that. Victor should be joining for sure, but we could have, in the next episode, you could see another face if, Consolves does go out. But again, if you leave a thumbs up, get a comment in, greatly appreciate for more episodes, and I'll see you guys next time.